Good morning, Your Honor. Elizabeth Andery, Assistant Prosecuting Attorney on behalf of the people.
Good morning.
And good morning, Your Honor. Joseph Hall, informed on behalf of Mr. Chambers, who appears but via Zoom without objections being here.
Okay. Mr. Chambers, can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Today's the date and time set for sentencing in this matter. I'm going to ask a series of questions. Mr. Hall can answer most of them. If you need to, though, sir, if you need to respond, you may interrupt us and we'll take your response. You will have an opportunity to address me before I sentence you, so that's built into the system. But just to put on the record, when we were in court I believe on March 17th, 2023, there was a verdict delivered by jury of homicide, murder in the second degree, and we are here today for the sentencing of that. Counsel, is that what we are doing today?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I've had a chance to go over Mr. Chambers' pre-sentence report. There's in-depth history there. I have also gone over MDOC's proposed scoring of its guidelines. I know I'm going to hear from both Ms. Andery as well as Mr. Hall on those matters, and I've scored it myself, given the information. Sometimes I make changes, sometimes I don't, but all of that goes as input into the sentence, and we are ready to proceed. So I'm going to start with you, Mr. Hall, not with the guidelines, but let's take a look at the I'm going to say the narrative or the informational part of the report. Get a chance to do that with the client and corrections or deletions to any of the information that's in the report.
Thank you, Judge. I have had a full opportunity to review that document with my client. There are two what I would call minor changes to the body of the document that I would propose to the court. Okay. Beginning with the face page, when it comes to personal history, it lists 12th grade. There was evidence shown to or discussed with Mr. Priest that Mr. Chambers has some college, approximately 51 credits. So we would ask that that be amended to some college. And that, again, is discussed later on in the document on page 7, where it does indicate some college. So we're not essentially asking for page 7 to be modified, but the face page, if it could indicate some college. I think that's one proposed change that we have.
Any objection to that, Ms. Andery?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so I'm going to make a note on both the face page and page 7. I'm going to put plus some college credits.
Thank you, Judge. The only remaining proposal to the body of the report is located on page 7, and it concerns the age of Mr. Chambers' daughter, Aurora. She is 5 years old at this moment.
Yeah.
No.
All right.
And we have no further recommendations as concerning the body of the report.
Those changes, Ms. Andery, do you have any changes to the informational part of the report?
One, Your Honor, in terms of jail credit days. So the sentencing date was moved from Wednesday to today. However, the jail credit days have not caught up to that. So on both the cover page as well as the second page, it should be changed from jail credit from the end date being April 26th to April 28th, which would change it to 529 days.
No objections.
Okay.
Nothing, no other changes or deletions to the body of the report. Thank you.
Okay. Let's take a look at the guidelines that have been prepared by MDOC. So I'll start with you again, Mr. Hall. Let's start with prior record variables. I presume there's no change there.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. How about offense variables? Do you have any challenge to those calculations?
Your Honor, we propose no changes to the offense variables.
Okay.
As well.
All right. Ms. Andery, do you have any challenges to the calculations prepared by Michigan Department of Corrections?
None for the people, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. I've gone court and scored it myself. I have no changes either. So based on that, then I do find that the sentencing guidelines are appropriately scored given the information, and I will, at the conclusion, sign the sentencing information report with those guidelines. Okay. Over to you, Ms. Andery. I know there are some victim impact statements, and so maybe we hear those first, and then I will ask you to comment on any of they're relative identified, but if you have any comments to make at that time, okay?
Yes. I believe Mr. Hall wants to approach on
Your Honor,
this before we.
Sure. All right.
And Your Honor, I believe, yes, there are people who are present here today. I believe we have 3 victim impact statements. I know Ms. Light will be reading 3 letters as well. I don't know who.
Let me just sort of address kind of how this is going to go, because with more than one statement, kind of a complicated thing. So this is a time for sentencing, and this is a time for the victims to make a statement. Counsel approached and kind of informed me that one of the statements included some reading of a couple of letters, and we discussed that, and I'm fine with that because I think that that's relevant and important, and I want to sort of honor that. But what it is an opportunity for the family, the victim, to speak to me. Obviously, part of that speaking to me is addressing grief, is addressing loss, is addressing on some level the defendant. I understand that, but it's not an opportunity for anyone to turn and yell at the defendant and to, this is not an argument situation. This is for family, if they need to speak to the court before sentencing. It's also not an opportunity for a memorial service. And I'm being respectful when I say this, that, the issue here is really one of a government and a court proceeding, and I need to hear and not be distracted. So this is not an opportunity for, the wearing of T-shirts or putting out photographs or things like that. So I am absolutely going to give you my undivided attention. I need to be clear that I want the family to understand that you have my undivided attention, but I need it to be attention to me, not to Mr. Chambers, not to his family, not to anything else. So with that said, Ms. Andery, if you want to call your first victim to make an impact statement, I am happy to hear 100% what that person has to say.
Thank you. Thank you. I believe first would be LaPortia Murray.
Okay.
Your Honor, the request would be of the photographs are of the kids. Is the answer still?
No, this is not anything to do with what I'm doing today. And I believe that the time really is, the family's time has been through this whole process. So I need to hear from the victim and not have it be something else. So that's kind of how I do this. Yep.
Where would you like one? Is that the podium fine?
I mean, the podium is fine. If there's a more comfortable place, I'm absolutely fine with them doing that. It certainly doesn't need to witness stand, but wherever there's the most support. It could be seated, it could be standing.
My name is LaPortia Murray. Ever since the day of November 15th and 16th, 2021, my life has been damaged. And for that reason, I lost a daughter behind that too. Not only my kid's father, they're going through a traumatic change in their life. I have to be on my own to raise a son that has autism. My daughter, she don't talk no more. Our world is messed up. Our world has been messed up. It will be messed up for the rest of our lives. I don't understand, how can you take a life and nobody did nothing to you? He didn't harm nobody. LaRon Dante Henning, sir, he didn't harm nobody. He was a good guy, a good stand-up guy, a good father, a family man, a good fiance, all of that. Nothing. He didn't harm nobody. Never. My experiences, everything just been going downhill. My life would never be the same. My kids' life would never be the same. All we got is pictures, blankets. That's all. Talk to pictures. That's it. We can't see them face to face in the house. We can't hear them in the house no more. So for that, I don't care if he don't ever get out. I don't care. I don't care. You didn't care about our family. So why should we care about yours? So My daughter broke down, my 2-year-old, she died last year. She broke down. She was a daddy's girl. And she stopped talking. She shut down. She didn't see her daddy no more. A daddy's girl, come on now. Like, what more can you say? She missed her daddy. Died from a broken heart. She died from a broken heart. Because of him. My kids don't talk. I have to show them pictures of their dad. And I know they probably wondering, where is my daddy? They don't get that no more. He was always playful with them. A good father, a good man. He didn't deserve none of this. He didn't. The way he was taken from us, no, he didn't deserve none of this. Not at all. My oldest daughter, she's 10. She don't talk. I always go to her, ask her questions. She don't talk. She just shut down too. Like, my kids are shutting down because of this. They miss their father. A great man. And me, I would never have another man. That's my man forever. I'm gonna always represent him for the rest of my life. Another man can never, will never. Me and him forever. What more can I say? He destroyed our life. Now my kids have to grow up without a father. And that's sad. He didn't do nothing. He was a good guy. All the good ones get taken away. Why? He didn't do nothing to you. Nothing. You a coward. You're soft. You're a coward ass nigga. For real. You're a weak ass nigga.
Yeah. I can't imagine the loss that you've suffered. You've lost your fiance, your partner in life, and a child. So struggles that your children have. I can't imagine your
A single mom. I have to do this all alone. That's all I have to say.
losses.
It's sad. Very sad. He need to stay locked up. Stay locked up. What? You have a seat.
Ma'am?
You have a seat.
Ma'am?
You have a seat. He have a fucking seat.
Ma'am?
I'm ready.
Folks, before I clear this courtroom,
Stand on that when you talk about that. Please
folks, I'm going to tell you this. If you cannot control yourselves, I will clear this courtroom and you will not be present. I can't tell you that I am trying to respect this process. I am trying to not have any disagreement or discord, but if you cannot control yourselves, I will clear the courtroom and we will not have this. Do you understand me? Okay. I understand that emotions are high. They're high for everybody and they're high for me as well. We have something we need to do today. We all need to do it with respect, and we need to get through this. So if it can't happen, you will be asked to leave this building, not be present for this sentencing. Do you understand me, everyone? Ms. Andrew? Sure.
Thank you, Your Honor. Our next statement is from Stephanie Light,
Okay.
Laron's mother.
Okay. Good morning. Remember hearing from you before, and I just want to tell you that I know most difficult thing a mother will ever do. I want you to understand that I heard you before and I'm hearing you today. So please, I also understand you have some other statements.
Yeah,
You are welcome to address from your
okay.
point of view first,
Okay.
or if you want to read those first, just
Yes.
let me know which you're doing.
Yeah. I'm gonna read it from my sister.
Okay?
Uh, This letter is from my sister, Toya, who helped raise my kids. To Judge Collins, I'm the aunt of LaRon Henning. I'm writing this letter to the court because this has totally impacted my life in every way. LaRon was my nephew, but more like a son to me. I helped raise him from a little boy and his other siblings. LaRon was a wonderful young man, and he didn't deserve to be killed like this. He loved his children. He loved his mom. They had a bond like no other that could never be broken, even to now. My life will never be the same. I miss him every day, but especially during the holidays. Will always want me to fix him banana pudding and chicken and dressing. If you didn't get there before him, he would be done ate it all up. The young man that took his life, I feel like he should spend the rest of his life in prison. My opinion, he shouldn't be able to see the light of day. He took a very special person from us, and our lives are damaged for the rest of our life. Your Honor, please find it in your heart to give him the maximum prison sentence so he will never be able to enjoy life outside because he doesn't deserve freedom. LaRon is no longer with us to enjoy his life, and he shouldn't be able either. He took him from his 6 kids, well, minus 1, because she died a few months after him from a broken heart. I just ask that you please find it in your heart to give him the maximum sentencing. It won't bring my nephew back, but it will give us a little peace of mind. Love you always, LaRon. Sign, Aunt Toya. Now,
Question.
mhm,
Would he really eat all the banana pudding before?
all of it. He would. That was his favorite.
I can relate.
Yes. Okay, I'm the mother of LaRon Dante Henning. From birth in my stomach, I knew my child was gonna be different. I used to tell their father, like, Larry, this baby is going to be different. I'm like, he just would get one side of my stomach and just stay there. He used to just, try to hear him moving or something like that. He was like, I hope you don't be no mama's boy. When my child was born, June the 1st, 1987, from the day that I laid eyes on him, let me say I have 4 kids, minus 1 now. And I love all my kids, but they're all different. So we all have different bonds. This child was a mama's boy to his heart. He talked to me or saw me every day. Every day. He helped 3 kids' mother, and they done all said, I never seen a son to love their mom the way he loves you. His dad said he used to be kind of jealous because he was like, he's a mama's boy to his heart, and he was. I bond. When my baby was 2 years old, he was at his dad and them house down south, and his grandmother, which was his dad's mother, my child was into a lot of stuff. Anyway, he got on the dresser, grabbed her blood pressure pills, and I almost lost my baby at 2 years old. And they had to airlift him to the hospital in Memphis, then charcoal down in him. From that day on, I just grabbed hold to him. And I said, God, I'm going to protect all my kids. But to almost lose him, it was just a burn. I don't even know how to explain it. But my child growing up, for him to be he was a big guy at a young age. He never was a bully. These young guys that looked up to him. On his Facebook, they put it all there. How they gonna miss him. He was a role model to him. The picture that was painted in here. For him to be 34, where's the record at? I called him my gentle giant, because that's what he was. One thing I knew about him, I never had to question his love for me, never. He would always post me, the first woman I ever loved, just, and I don't know how to say it, but losing my child, November 15th, I was in Detroit with supposed to be my fiance. I got the call November 15th. I had just talked to my child. He was on the phone talking to me, happy. Anthony heard him. He was on speaker. He said, Stephanie. I said, Ron, don't start playing. What is it? He loved a joke. He said, where you at? I'm about to pull up on you. I said, boy, I'm in Detroit. He said, no, you ain't, Mom. I said, yes, I am. You don't know Anthony? I said, yeah. All right, take a picture. I sent it to him. He said, well, when you get back, I got to show you a video on my phone of your ex. He was being silly. He was like, Anthony can't hear me. I said, boy, anyway, he said, when you be back? I said, I'll be back in the morning since I came down here since you was coming over. But anyway, he was in so much good spirit. I had just talked to him. Then, I think it was maybe 45 minutes. his first son mother called me. I'm like, I answered the phone. Tasha said, Stephanie, you ain't heard? I said, heard what? She said, Ron. I said, what you mean? I just talked to Ron. What is it? She said, Stephanie, where you at? I said, in Detroit. She said, you got to get here. Ron just got shot. And they said it don't look good. I said, Tasha, girl, Anthony said, who is that? Because you just talked to that baby. And he was in good spirits. And he said, Mama, if Anthony makes you happy, go to be with him. And he told Anthony, I'll give you my blessings. He said, I know my mama, she have a anger problem sometimes, but if you can't deal with her, just leave her alone. Just don't put your hands on her or nothing. He said, she's a good woman, but when I got that card, I thought I was, dreaming. And I fell to the floor. Anthony grabbed me. And that's all I remember. Then when I got up, I called LaPortia. Anthony said, you're not driving. You can't drive. And I told her, come and get me. She came and got me. Came to the hospital, St. Joe's. I goes in, the doctors, they rushing to me. They said, you the mom? I said, yes. Where's my child? I need to see my child. He okay? I said, I need to see my child. Now this right here, that I'm about to tell y'all, still to this day, I don't understand it, but when I goes in the room and my child hooked up to every machine in his mouth, he's fighting for his life. I walked to my son and I put my hands on my baby and I started hemorrhaging. So I could feel it. So I asked the nurse, I said, where's the bathroom? Could you give me some pads or something? Mind you, I haven't hemorrhaged in double-digit years. I started hallucinating. So by me hemorrhaging, I'm thinking God is about to bring my baby back and take me. I goes in the bathroom. I get myself together. It was horrible. I never, nobody, but I told my family, they never heard of this in life, and I haven't, I don't know. But when I goes back in the room, I put my hand on my child, and the doctor was telling me, she said, he's in severe pain. She said, but I never seen nobody get shot like this in the back of the head and their brains blew out. And he's still fighting. I said, he was waiting on mama. He knew mama was coming. I was 2 years old. I told him, Mama, I always protect you. I'll lose my life for you. And I asked God, before I had to say those words to my child, I asked God, I looked up and I said, God, if you would have asked for my life, I would have gave it to you. Just for my baby to stay here. A parent is not supposed to bury their child. And I'm right there, I'm holding my child. And I'm rubbing the back of his head. I see the holes. And I'm talking to him. And when the doctor said he's in severe pain and all the medicine that I was giving him, she said he's suffering, and if he do make it, he'll be a vegetable. And I had to do the hardest thing in life. And I put my hands on my child, and I was talking to him, and I said, Ron, you know mama loves you and everything, and you know it is, but one thing you told me, you would never hurt me, and you would never leave mama. And that day, the first man to rip my heart out of my soul was my child. He was my child. And I grabbed his hand and I told him, I said, Ron, you can let go. You can let go. I said, Mom, here. I said, I don't know how I'm going to do this without you, and I don't. Still to this day, I struggle every day. Some days I don't want to get out of bed, and I know that ain't what he wants, but it's so hard when you go from every day for 34 years, and I ain't never missed a phone call or coming through my door. I had to duck down to check on Mom, and then I have nothing. And I told him, I said, Ron, you can let go. I said, cause Mama got this. I said, Mama got this. Some type of way God gonna help me. I said, baby, you know I love you with everything in me. I said, Ron. And I kept saying, please don't leave me. Please don't leave me. But I told him he could let go. And once when I did that, I think my child held on for like 30 more minutes. And the doctors never came out that little room and they said, he's gone now. And I fell to the ground. I fell to the ground. It's like my heart was coming out my body. It's like, I don't know. I was losing it. I don't know. And the doctor hugged me. She hugged me. She said, he hugging her. He waited on his mama. He hugging her. He waited on me. And my child had dried tears on his face when he was fighting for his life. He was crying. Dried tears was on my baby's face. I never seen my child hurt in 34 years. I never seen my child cry. My baby had dry tears on his face. And it's like I couldn't breathe. It's like I couldn't breathe. And to this day, I've been back and forth to the hospital. I'm on heart medicine now. And it's hard. It's so hard. It's the hardest thing. And I done shut down like from family. They'll call me. I don't answer the phone. Yeah, I don't. I know. That's why I got in grief counseling, and that's why I'm back in the church. Because I was raised in the church, and I know if I don't keep God in my life, I'm not going to make it. And I know I can't give up because my grandkids need me. They need me. And Ron won't want me to give up, but some days I don't even want to wake up. I don't know. But, Your Honor, and I know, Gary, one day I know I gotta forgive you. I know I do. Because that's the only way I'm gonna see my child again. I know this. But right now I'm just still angry. I'm angry. God knows I am, and I know I'm battling with God right now because I got to one day. I got to forgive you. I do.
Thank you.
Because I know God and I know the Bible was always in church. I know this. I wish I could just get my child back. I don't know. This other thing. Yeah, I broke my engagement off because, like I told him, I said, I heard this song say, hurt people. And I've never hurt nobody intentionally, but right now I'm damaged. I'm damaged. It's like my soul just came out of my body on November the 16th. It's like it just came out of my body. And it's cold. But I cried to God every day. From November 15th, I haven't missed a day without crying. And all I have now is memories. That's all I have, Your Honor. This is father. He battling with cancer. He don't even want to go take the treatments no more. He's giving up. And I talked to him. He said, it's so horrible for my child. My son was just down there with him in September. And Mary said something, told him not to let him go back. So he's slowly dying too. It's the worstest thing. And I tell people, they be looking at me like they don't know what to say to me. Because they say they know me and Ron Dunn from down south to here. And I have shut down because I just, I'll be in the house or something. I don't, I go days without eating and stuff. But I'm just asking God to help me. I'm asking God to help me because I gotta be here. Because I have other kids. And his brother, Lord, I told her, I said, you gotta come and talk to Corey because Corey always been his little brother keeper and he feel like it's his fault. He feel like it's his fault. He's so messed up. And ain't nothing I can do but watch my son crumble. And his two sisters, they so damaged. His nephews, his oldest son, he's going the wrong route now. He is. So this happened to his daddy. He got locked up. He said his role might have gone. It's just, I don't know. And then I said one day, just, Lord, I don't know if I don't wake up, I don't have to go through this every day, but I know God gonna help me through this. He's gonna help me through this because my grandkids need me. His son, LJ, he's autistic. I never knew about that, and it's hard, but I'm gonna do the best I can with him. I'm gonna do the best I can. His daughter had prom. And she was crying so bad. She said, Grandma, I'm glad you're here, but my dad's supposed to be here. She said, I'm not going to never get married because my dad ain't going to never be able to walk me down the aisle. And I broke my engagement off because I said, Ron ain't here. He's not here to walk me down the aisle. And I know this man loved me, but now I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what you want. I'm not a bad woman. I don't have a bad heart. But if you could find it in your heart, I don't want this to happen to somebody else, Your Honor. My child. He didn't deserve this, Your Honor. My child didn't deserve this. He didn't deserve this, Your Honor. And I had to see the holes in his head. And at the funeral, they had to patch it up. And I just need you to find it in your heart, Your Honor. Even though I know it's not going to bring my child back. It's not going to bring my child back, Your Honor. Maybe a little weight might rip off my heart. I don't know. Because my heart is so damaged right now. Only God can help me. Only God can help me. And I'm trying to live for the Lord I am. But right now it's hard. I'm struggling right now. But Your Honor, my child, I got to go to the grave. I just paid the money for his tombstone. It's going to be down before Mother's Day. We got to go to the grave and see my child. His kids gotta look down in the dirt to see him, Your Honor. And it hurts me so bad because my child was claustrophobic. That's why he never did stuff to go to jail. He's claustrophobic, and all I think is my child can't breathe. But God gonna help me, but Joanna, if you can just find it in your heart to go with the prosecutors, what they recommend, Your Honor. Your Honor, I don't wish this on nobody, Your Honor. I don't. It's just, I just want you to just go with the prosecutors, what they recommend. And please pray for me and my family, please, please. And that's all I have to say. Thank y'all.
Coming in, ma'am. I appreciate everything you said.
Thank you, Your Honor. The next impact statement is from Latasha Brandon.
Okay. Morning.
Good morning. I'm Lauren's oldest child mother. We was young when we had him, you know, so he kind of grew up with us. But he never missed a beat. He never missed a beat. My son wears size 13 in shoes right now, and he always bought the shoes. I'll get the clothes, but he bought the shoes because he's so big. My son, ever since after his dad's funeral, he's been in and out of juvenile. He actually just did a year in placement and just went back. He's angry. He don't know, like, kids need their fathers. It's like he's so damaged, like, and I don't know what to do because, you know, I always had Lauren to, like, you know, help me and fall back on. Now I don't got him. So it's just like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. My son don't know what to do. Like, it's just, it's heartbreaking to see my son going through this. Like, and I don't know, but he couldn't be here today because once again, he's locked up because he's acting out of anger and I don't know. So he couldn't be here. So I wanted to speak on his behalf. His father loved his kids dearly. That's all he knew was his kids, but he was going back home to his kids. And for him not to make it back home, that hurt. It really did. It really did. It did. I showed up to the hospital. Matter of fact, I was the first one there. Stephanie couldn't get there in the amount of time that I could get there, so I got there. Me and my son, we went. They said only one person can go back there. So my son said I can go back there. I went back there. I talked to him. You know, I talked to him, held his hand. And then I told him, you know, Vasi, love you. We all love you. And he moved his hand. He moved his hand. That's how I knew that he could hear me. He could hear me talking. And I know he's watching over my son, and my son is going to be okay. But it just hurt. He didn't deserve that at all. He did not deserve that at all. And he's going to be missed. That's it.
Thank you for sharing.
Your Honor, in terms of victim impact statements, there are no further ones.
Okay. Andrew, do you have anything to close with?
Yes, Your Honor. I understand that the court has the pre-sentence investigation report. And I guess before I get into my argument in terms of sentence, I do have two requests in terms of the conditions I would be asking that a no contact order with Laron Henning's family be added in. I did talk to probation about that. I believe it would go under 4 or be 4A. If that's appropriate, the request would be with the family of Laron Henning.
Your Honor, no objection.
And the second request, oh, you know what, never mind. It was regarding restitution, but it appears that that is left open on the recommendation, and the information was provided to probation today.
Okay.
Thank you. Now, in terms of the recommendation for prison, I understand that probation's recommendation is 18 to 35 years in Michigan Department of Corrections. And perhaps if we didn't have a whole trial, that would be appropriate. However, Your Honor sat through a week's long worth of testimony, saw all the evidence. And so at this point in time, the people are requesting that the court sentence the defendant to the top of the guidelines or higher, which is 22.5 years to life on the other end. And the reason for that request is everything that the court saw during trial. We started out the trial by saying, you know, we don't know why this happened, but we know who did it and we know what happened. And as the case progressed throughout that week, it's rare that it happens, but our case got stronger. The more testimony that came in, the statement by the defendant, it became immediately clear that this was not a confusion in a kitchen. This wasn't some hothead moment by the defendant. This was murder. If we had just one shot to the chest or one shot to the back of the head or a spray of bullets in the kitchen that happened to hit Laron, then maybe this would be appropriate. Maybe this would be something else, but it's not what we have. And the testimony that came out at trial was that the defendant shot Laron 3 times, and for that third time, and I know that we couldn't get into the order of them, but what logically makes sense is that Laron was running to the door and he got shot in the back of the head and was collapsed right there. And as it relates to sentencing, that information is imperative. This is not a situation where someone snapped, because that's not what the testimony was from the defendant. I understand that he kept repeating over and over, he did this to protect himself. He was in fear for his life over and over. But I asked him on the stand that now that he knows that Laron did not have a gun, whether he would change what he did, and he said no. And that's concerning. And the testimony at trial also, there was a lot about the drugs and pinning Laron that he had weed on him. But also what we heard was that the defendant doesn't use substances, which means that he was sober when he murdered Laron, which is very concerning moving forward. And that he was a CPL holder, which means that he probably thought that this was something that he was allowed to do. And as we move forward on this case and in terms of sentencing, the defendant is not a person that should receive a lenient sentence. The defendant is someone who deserves the top of the guidelines, if not higher, which are 22.5 years in Michigan Department of Corrections to life. And I just want to say that obviously the court heard from all the victim impact statements today, heard the impact that this has on so many people's lives. And I again want to extend my condolences to the family as well. This wasn't a person, Laron wasn't a person who deserved or was justified in being killed. He was someone who was murdered by the defendant as he fled for his life and got shot in the back of the head. So we are asking for the maximum sentence. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Hall, I'm going to ask you to comment on any of the conditions that are recommended. Rand, gone over that.
Thank you.
Oh.
Your Honor, I'll address, I guess, at greater length the recommended amount of incarceration, but as it comes to discrete conditions, I'm amenable with the recommended addition of no contact. I'm amenable for holding open restitution for 90 days as indicated. The one that I would ask the court to consider is the imposed court cost of $1,611, given the fact that we all understand that Mr. Chambers is likely to be sentenced to a considerable amount of incarceration here, and his ability to earn anything to pay that down seems impossible at this time. So regarding the recommendations attendant to the incarceration, that's the only one that I would ask the court to consider scrubbing, aside from how I'd like to discuss the term of incarceration when the moment's appropriate.
Consider that.
Oh,
Address anything else.
thank you, Judge. And I do appreciate Your Honor's review of the sentencing memorandum, as well as the over 22 or the over 20 letters of community support that were submitted as attached with that document. Your Honor, about Gary Chambers Jr., he is a valued and loved son, father, brother, nephew, cousin, and member of the community. His 5-year-old daughter, Aurora, is the center of his universe. His history is marked by the avoidance of criminal conduct rather than an inclination toward it. This is a man who never engaged in any drug use, even in the scheme of today's laws, marijuana, rather invested in himself through education, entrepreneurship, embracing family. Mr. Chambers, as he testified, but you'll hear further, is extremely remorseful, both immediately after these incidents, continuing to this day and into the future. He sincerely mourns Mr. Henning's death, as well as the impact on Mr. Henning's family. He also bears extreme remorse for the loss that his own family and friends will experience by virtue of his conviction and anticipated incarceration. Mr. Chambers has a noted history, as demonstrated in the letters of community support, of giving back to his community through coaching youth, both in basketball and boxing. He did this was without remuneration, Your Honor, as well as lending a helping hand to those in need, whether he knew them or not. When the situation presented itself, he was known universally to be a polite, respectful, and kind man. The circumstances that give rise to Mr. Chambers' conviction are replete with mitigation, Your Honor. The lead detective, with all his experience, testified as to the unusual nature surrounding the events that led to Mr. Henning's death. Perhaps most noteworthy, Your Honor, and illustrative of Mr. Chambers' intentions is the fact that Mr. Chambers did not hesitate in calling 911 to get immediate help for Mr. Henning. Evidence at trial supported that. Your Honor, Mr. Chambers then fully complied with police once they arrived. He didn't disturb a scene, flee, or otherwise hide evidence. He's a CPL holder. He's a man with essentially no criminal record. And I think also noteworthy when it comes to mitigation in this case, Your Honor, is the complete lack of any evidence to support any motive other than fear. Now, I believe that Mr. Chambers was truly afraid for his life on November 15th of 2021. This statement is not meant to undermine the jury's verdict, but rather it's a statement as to the thin line that our law presents regarding reasonableness of fear and use of force situations. And, Your Honor, I think it goes without saying, absolutely zero evidence that Mr. Henning was running away or running toward the door presented during the trial. Your Honor, the lack of motive other than fear distinguishes this case from other crimes of this nature because Mr. Chambers' acts were not in pursuit of some collateral illicit goal or gain on his behalf. There was no evidence ever presented regarding that. Your Honor, save for one moment, in spontaneous circumstances, Mr. Chambers has been an exemplary member of this community. He intends to faithfully serve his sentence and emerge to demonstrate that good character. Your Honor, for these reasons, as well as the reasons stated in the memorandum regarding to his sentence, we request leniency expressed as a sentence at or below the bottom of the applicable sentencing guidelines and a cap to the sentence as recommended by probation after a full interview in Mr. Chambers' PSI. Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Chambers, this is your opportunity. If you wish to address me before I impose sentence, I am absolutely all ears.
Yes, how you doing, Your Honor? I just really wanted to start by saying I give my remorse to the family, to his fiancés, to his children, and most definitely I give my remorse to Miss Light, his mom. As she said earlier, moving forward with God, and you know, I pray every day that she forgive me and that they all forgive me for what has been done. I'm sorry. I didn't want this to happen. I wish I could take it back. And like I said, to Miss Light, I just really give my heart out to her and to his family, because I do know how I feel to be on the victim side. In that same courtroom back in 2009, my brother was shot and killed. My mom know how I feel to be in that same courtroom when it was Judge Shorts. So we know how I feel to be hurt. It's a painful situation. It's a thing that, like she said, you can never come back from. So I most definitely send my heart out to his family, to his loved ones, because it's something that you cannot get back. Love, I send my love, and the things that his mom said, or whatever she said, I know, understand that she's angry and his family is angry and everything. So I just really want to let them know, like, I'm sorry, I apologize. My heart goes out to his family, to his kids. They'll never be able to see their father again, and I understand that, and I'm so sorry. I'm truly sorry for that. Like I say, I cry about the situation a lot. I'm traumatized. It's a traumatic situation. Your Honor, like I said, I just, you know, I take full ownership of what's going on right now. I'm a man. I take full ownership of what's going on. I understand I got found guilty. I understand it's a punishment behind it. And, you know, for the respect of your courtroom, that's why I thank you for letting me presume over Zoom. And I know that you said you like to do things old fashioned. So I thank you for doing that for me. I want to also, I don't hold no whole heart to the jurors, to Detective Babbage, to Miss Elizabeth. I may say bad things, but it's not a grudge or hope against them. They have a family to provide for. They just doing their job. So I understand that everybody's doing their job here in this case, and they present it. So once again, I understand. I'm an understanding person. I just ask that the court do have understanding towards me. I do have a 5-year-old daughter. I have family, loved ones. I went to school for law enforcement. I was being recruited to work at Washington County Jail. I was also being recruited to work at JCS Prison in Wayne County to be an officer. I took the EMCO test. I went to the academy. I did all these things to do all these things. I was being recruited. I'm not a bad person. I'm not a threat to the community. And I'm sorry for everybody that's disappointed that it turned out like this. And once again, like I said, I don't want to make this about me. but I really do send my heart and my love out to his family, because my mom, we and my family that sit on the other side of that courtroom, we know how I feel to be in their same shoes. So anger and pain, and that's why I asked for the respect of my mom and Miss Light. I know y'all can never be friends, but for everybody that's in that courtroom, please just don't let nothing break out. Just continue to be honorable to the judge and be respectful. And because my mom know how I feel, Miss Light, and I'm not trying to put your feelings to the side. I just ask for y'all to continue to be respectful, and that y'all come to a meeting's ground and just have understanding for each other as mothers, for just both knowing how I feel to be in the situation. And like I said, words can't explain how much, I just really send my love out to his family, man. Because like she said, I won't wish this on nobody, Your Honor. So I do ask that on this day that you just have understanding, have everybody have understanding that right now they might not be able to see or be able to feel my pain, and they will not be able to just see how I feel to be your life getting snatched away from you like this. And it's okay. I take ownership for it. I stand up as a man. I stayed on scene. I called the police. I feel like I acted in my right. I was, but the law is the law. The jury found me guilty. I just ask that you, Judge, that you have remorse and leniency on me. I had never been in trouble before. I just want to thank everybody that was in this procedure moving forward. Thank you for hearing me out. Like I said, thank you for Detective Babbage and Liz, and thank you for the listening ears and everybody out there watching. I just want to let y'all know, like, when you wake up in the morning, ain't nothing promised to you, man. Like, don't take life for granted. When you wake up in the morning and you put your shoes on, you walk outside the doors. Don't take life for granted. Life is serious. Just moments happen, things happen, and you can't prepare for life. Cannot prepare for life. You can't prepare for tomorrow, because you never know what's going to happen. So everybody that's watching, I just want everybody to just don't take life for granted and just continue to move forward. And thank you for Joseph Hall and his law firm, and Michael Vincent and everybody. And thank you, Your Honor. That's all I have to say. And like I said, I just send my love back to his family, to his kids, his 6 children. I'm sorry for the deceased that happened to the young one. And I send my love to his mom, Miss Light, most definitely. And I just ask that she truly find it in her heart and continue to be moved forward with God to forgive me. And that's it, Your Honor.
Thank you. Often at this time, I've gone through everything and kind of prepare a speech, and this is one of those cases where there are just so many unanswered questions from everybody. And so, I'm sitting here holding what the victims and LaRon's family have shared with me, what I heard at the trial and what I've heard today. I'm holding what Mr. Chambers has said, and I know that your family is hurting too. I'm not blind to that. I'm not deaf to that. But there are just so many unanswered questions and so much loss. I've heard stories about LaRon, and I believe them. Good man, gentle giant, banana pudding. I'm going to give you that too. But it's a tremendous loss, and the loss of another child, and that part of your family never to be repaired. I will say the most courageous thing I heard you say, Ms. Light, was that you believe you have to forgive Gary, and I think that will be probably the hardest thing you ever have to do in life. And if you're able to do that, there is maybe some silver lining to this. I've read I believe more than 20 letters on your behalf, Mr. Chambers. People respect you. People love you. people are going to miss you. And that's another huge loss to all of you. And I'm not diminishing that. And your story of your brother, it does point out that your family knows grief. Your family knows that kind of loss too. And maybe these families can never be friends because of what's happened, but you know, none of this has a happy ending. On the other hand, Mr. Chambers, you're unusual in the type of person that's sitting where you are today with really no criminal history whatsoever. Mr. Hall kind of nailed that. They really have spent your life trying to avoid the criminal justice system, trying to better yourself, trying to better your family and better, you know, your future. And you just said very clearly that in a moment, things can change and you can't take things for granted. So it's hard for me to make a lot of sense of this, everybody. This is the hardest thing that I do in my job, but it's kind of easy to make sense of it. You know, there's a pretty logical step-by-step, this has happened, this is the history, this is the recommendation. And so I'm left with trying to do something here that makes some sense. On the one hand, the prosecutor is well within her right and on behalf of the people to ask for a more harsh sentence. On the other hand, defense attorney is asking for leniency, and both of them have a lot of reason to do that and a lot of basis or grounds to bring those requests to the court. Mr. Chambers, I do appreciate your statement that you understand the process and that you understand that a jury of 12 people did find you guilty. And so, you know, of all of us, you're the only one that knows what happened that day. And I've heard your testimony and they did, and they believed otherwise. But the fact of the matter is we do have to proceed. So as to case number 22-13 FC, count 1, homicide or murder in the second degree, the guideline sentencing recommendations are 162 to 270 months. It is the sentence of the court that you serve 18 years to 35 years with the Michigan Department of Corrections with credit for 529 days served. You must pay restitution in the amount to be determined within 90 days. You must execute a wage assignment to pay restitution if you are employed and miss 2 regularly scheduled payments. Number 2, you must comply with DNA testing and pay a $60 fee as ordered by the court. Number 3, you must pay a $68 state cost as ordered by the court. Number 4, you must pay a crime victim assessment in the amount of $130 as ordered by the court. Number 5, I am going to order that you pay the court costs of $1,611 as ordered by the court. That is suspended upon successful payment of restitution. So I will not order that as an additional condition of your incarceration. Restitution amount is determined and if there is a payment of that restitution. So that is something that is left out there. I'm including an additional condition number 6. There is to be no contact between Mr. Chambers, the defendant, and the family of LaRon Henning going forward. So that is the sentence of the court. Will be provided an appellate rights form. You are entitled to file an appeal of the court's decision. Mr. Hall will be able to get that information to you as to how to do that. There's a lot of information surrounding appeal if you choose to file one. The important thing is that you seek appointment of a court-appointed attorney for your appeal because you can't afford that. You actually have to make that request within 42 days of today's date in writing. So Mr. Hall will provide that information for you, okay?
And Your Honor, that information has actually already been provided, and given that the court has now issued sentencing, one of the methodologies for delivering that document is to file it upon sentencing. I have that complete document prepared to file it with the trial court, which is one of the appropriate mechanisms. So
you know that as well as I do, so you do what you need to do, Mr. Hall. Yes.
Show that to this.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Mr. Chambers, do you have any questions?
No, once again, I just want to say thank you to you for hearing both sides. I want to continue to send my love, my peace to his family, remorse to his family. Like they said, LeBron, not a bad guy. I really can't speak bad on him. So I send my love to his family sincerely. I just a broken, like I
Okay.
say.
Thank you.
I say thank you.
Okay. To the families, I recognize your anger. I recognize your grief. I recognize that everybody is carrying a heavy burden today. I honestly, my heart goes out to you. My prayers go out to you all, both sides. This is not, there's no favoritism from the court here. But I do want to ask you, I've already told you, but I want to ask you for your respect toward each other. Everybody in this room is hurting. And everybody has some feelings and some anger. So I'm going to ask you for your forgiveness, or at least your willingness to not make anything worse about the situation. So we've got security in here to make sure everyone is safe, make sure there's orderly progression out of here. And to the extent, I know it sounds like there's nothing I can say, but to the extent that I wish you all some future of forgiveness and some hope, that's the only thing that keeps, I think, all of us going. So I wish you all the best. Thank you.